Another video of a making of my biological father when he showed up, or I think it was him, I don't know. I've already made sketches, I think, of this apartment before, but I wanted to re-sketch Julian's apartment in Carrollton when he's living by himself. Julian was in his room. I was literally laying on the floor next to him, and my biological father walks in through the door. I have no idea who walks in and out, and he's walking, and he walks right by me, and he has the other lady that was there, which is Oscar's mother, and which was Oscar's mother, and I really didn't know what the heck was going on, and they were sort of kind of walking fast. And this is the last and one of the few views that I got my biological father. Is I was laying on the floor, and he directly looked at me as I was laying on the floor, and I said, damn, that guy kind of looks exactly like me. And me and Julian began a conversation about him, and Julian was acting kind of paranoid, or like he was holding back information about something else. But I was worried because I didn't know. I thought this guy was a heroin addict or something like that was going on. But he walked in, and he walks directly into the room, and then they shut the door and they started talking, and I never heard anything from that guy again. But I think it's important for me to talk about, because I don't know if I had this in my other picture. Yeah, I do. I get this in this other picture here. Is when they walked in, when I was sitting here, the way that I knew that they were shooting electronic devices at me and my biological father at the same time. I didn't know he was my biological father. He gets up out of that room very fast, like he's going to shit himself, and he runs into the restroom and has to take a shit. And he goes in there and takes a shit and uses the restroom and leaves, and then all of a sudden I have to get up and use the restroom. And when I get up and I have to use the restroom and I walk in there, it smells fucking disgusting. It smells fucking nasty. And I'm actually really pissed off, because I'm like, this is Julian's apartment. Like, why are you taking a shit here? But anyway, I think it's important for me to talk about, because the people that were using the electronic devices were making sure I would hate this guy, and making sure they would use the electronic devices. I know they shot the electronic devices at him to make him get up and use the restroom and take a shit, because he was he went in there like he was about to shit himself. Like, he ran in there like you know how when you hear people are about to shit themselves, they throw the toilet seat on the ground, like drop everything, and they just try not to shit themselves. That's exactly what it sounded like. And he came in the house and was leaving in the house fairly like he was under control, and he was like he was control of himself, and he was sure of himself. So I wanted to talk about that, because that's what they did. And this is the ultimate last drawing that I wanted to talk about. That the last view that I saw him after he shitted the bathroom, I walk out of my room to go in, and I crack open the door, and I saw my biological father and Oscar's mother like this, sitting both on the bed talking. And there's a little bit of junk, some stuff in there, and I directly looked at this guy like this, and he was way across the other side of the room, and he just nodded his head at me, and then Oscar's mom sort of just looked at me and froze, and then looked over at him for a moment like she knew what was going on or something else was happening. But I remember looking at this guy, and I was like, why does this guy look like I know who he is, or a piece of him? So I wanted to make sure I made this video to talk about what had happened with these circumstances, because they forced him to go shit all over the bathroom. I walked in there shortly, forced to shit in the same place, because I all of a sudden I was forced to take a shit, and I went in there, and it smelled disgusting, so it made me hate this guy. I'm like, why are you doing this? You have a little kid here, and what was going on? So that's how they degrade my biological father for the movement.